So hello and welcome everybody to this kind of special occasion video. I'm sadly at home sick since over a week now, and since I still want to give you a little bit of content, I thought I'd do a little question and answers. So I asked the people on Instagram, shoot me some questions, ask me anything, so I can give you a kind of shop talk from home. Let's start with the first question. The first question was from Baltic Blades. He asked me, what do you tell yourself in the past that you should do different going full time? I thought about this many times, and I got these questions from a lot of knife makers that want to go full time or think about it. I started from going full time, like total. Like I was making knives for friends. I was working for a big German car company here in my hometown. I quit that job because it was, I didn't like it that much. Pretty much started going full time. The first half of a year was pretty hard. Luckily my beautiful wife helped me out. She pretty much paid most of our expenses at that moment. After half a year brought home enough money to care for us as well. So yeah, get yourself a good wife or partner. Second question from NLEFAK. What color Lamborghini are you buying from that YouTube money? I wish I made 1 cent out of YouTube right now. I just spent money for YouTube. I spent time, I spent money to make YouTube videos. But it's fun, and I like when people are commenting that they love the videos. And I wouldn't buy a Lamborghini, I would buy a Ford F-150 Raptor because I'm a truck guy. I like big trucks and I cannot lie. Knife Art Hanover asked, why did you start with knives? That's actually a pretty good question. I think I've answered this one 1,000 times before. The answer is pretty simple. Knives while being an apprentice. Then I made my journeyman, and after my journeyman, almost a year later, I got myself self-employed because I started to I wasn't the guy who liked to do fences, who liked to do graveyard crosses or something like this. I was more the guy who always wanted to do tools. I like to do stuff that you can use, so I started doing axes and hammers, and from axes I got pretty fast into knives, and stayed at knives. Now, in 2 days, it's going to be 7 years full-time Martin Huber knives. Wild Worlds asked, in which step of the process is it best to save time for cheaper knife lines? Thinking about doing cheaper knife lines, my personal thing that I always think about is don't forge, get yourself watercut blanks, do stock removal. You save the time forging, you save the time doing all the cutting out with angle grinders and belt grinder. That's a pretty huge step. Money on wood, for example, don't use the €40 expensive stabilized wood. Use some €5 non-stabilized wood. You always have to keep in mind, do you want to make the knife cheap or do you want to make the knife in a good qualities? Cayman Knives asked me, what's your favorite knife maker in Korneuburg living in Vienna? I don't know. I heard there's a weird guy doing knives there. Also Cayman Knives asked, how do you, as an employer, draw the line between friendship and business, starting the help on weekends with a video? Is that helping a friend or a paid job for them? I don't ask them for overtime on weekends at all, because I don't want to work on weekend. Why should they work on weekends? All the videos that you see Chris in, or other friends of mine, or as you saw Johannes as he was still working with us, those are under work time conditions. When we have our 9 to 6, it's in that time. Of course, sometimes we do like overtime a little bit, but not in regard to videos. And right here the microphone failed and I have no idea why. But yeah, now we have to watch it with the bad GoPro quality. I am sorry. Toon Wow Man asked, is Apex Ultra your invention patent? Did you find or invent it? No, I did not. The steel was invented Tobias Hangler and Marco Guidiman. I hope I didn't butcher your name, Marco, I'm so sorry. Those are the masterminds behind Apex Ultra. If you want to know more about Apex Ultra, go here and see the video where I visited Tobias Hangler, the last shop talk video, where we did talk about Apex Ultra and the origin of Apex Ultra. Messerschmiede Jettenbach asked, what is the most complex Damascus pattern you ever did? I did a few mosaic Damascus, but I'm never happy with my mosaic. The only one that I'm really happy about, X pattern. It was 18,000 layers or something like this. Hopefully I can find a picture of that. That's a few years ago. I didn't do many mosaic Damascus patterns in the last few years, but I want to do some for a video, of course, for you guys. Beans Blades ask, what is the most you liked about Marlowe knives? I love his front pack.
I'm fat with the backpack, so I'm gonna knock over everything.
Backpacks. My one backpack is.
I got a front pack and a backpack.
What is the most you like about Beans Blades? That guy is awesome. Look at him. I mean, he's a great dude. I love him.
Martin is gonna wear this at our table, right? Beans Blades 2A for $100 for the whole day. Salt Lake City, Utah.
No way.
Is a win.
Rocket Knives asked, what gives you the power to go into the shop daily at full motivation? What keeps your fire going? Honestly, real talk right now, being motivated every day is not easy. And I think some people misunderstand. I love the way I do my knives. I love the way that I work. I love everything about my job. But still, in this term, it's a job. You don't have the motivation every day to go into the shop. There's still days that I wanna rather stay in bed and sleep 5 hours and do nothing at all. It is a job, but I wouldn't change it for anything in this world because it's freaking awesome. Logan.h.l ask, your origin story. How did you get into bladesmithing and what made it all possible? My origin story. My first time at a forge was at 3 years old. My dad is a metal construction worker, so he does fences and balconies and carports and stuff like this. Pretty cool. I grew up in his shop. He made himself self-employed 1 year before I was born. So I grew up in that shop. So the first time I was standing at the forge was at 3 years old with my mom. The first time at my power hammer, my beautiful 100 kilo Péché. My mom and dad bought this power hammer. First time I was forging with this piece, I think I was 5 years old. I started a school in Steyr, a higher technical school for artist blacksmith. Did my 4 years then, did my journeyman, and while going to school I already loved knives more than anything else. Started to do knives in my time at home. I started to do knives after school. Knives always has been a big center of my life since 12 years now, nearly. This is pretty much how it all started. I started my company working in my grandpa's garage where I couldn't forge that good in, but my old teacher, Mr. Kühlinger, allowed me to use his shop for forging. Once a month I drove over, forged all the billets that I needed the next few weeks, then did all the grinding and stuff at home and handle making. I think 1.5 years or nearly 2 years into my self-employment, the small shop got too small, so I rented Mr. Kühlinger's workshop because he was teaching at school. Under the week his shop was empty and he said, hey, come over, work at my shop. It's a big shop, it was 150 square meters. A lot of power hammers there. Actually my first YouTube videos ever, the Gyoza series that I fucked up, started in his shop. I rented this shop for 1.5 years until I was able to move into my own shop that you see now in every video that I built together with my dad and my mom. Better said, they built it and I just rented. First employee started working for me in 2008. Chris came 2020 in October, so he's now working over 3 years with me now. The biggest supporters I had from the beginning were my parents and my wife. Without those three, I couldn't accomplish anything. They motivated me to do something. They motivated me to work, to go out, to do stuff. And that's what I really, now looking back, really love. So thank you everybody so much. So, and this is pretty much a wrap up. Thank you for watching this kind of boring, but maybe for some people interesting video. I'll see you in the next video.